Beauty. Throughout history, people have sacrificed their fortunes, their kingdoms, and even their souls for it. But in 19th century London, the price of beauty was much more tangible. The 1860s, the Victorian Era. One color had captivated all of Europe, Paris green, or as it was widely known, emerald green. It was so vivid, so bright, that it shimmered even by candlelight. From the queen to the street worker, everyone wanted this color. Wallpapers, carpets, children's toys, and of course, those magnificent ball gowns. But there was a terrible detail that no one noticed. When people put on these dresses and went to balls, they weren't just wearing fabric. They were wearing pure poison, the killer's identity. The secret of this color was discovered by a Swedish chemist in 1775. The formula was simple: copper and arsenic. Yes, arsenic, history's most effective murder weapon, was beating at the heart of fashion at that time. Do you know how much arsenic was used to dye a single ball gown, that perfect shade of green? About 400 grams. This amount was enough to kill hundreds of adult men in a ballroom within minutes. But women wrapped this around their bodies, danced in that poisonous fabric, and as they sweated, their pores opened, and the arsenic slowly, insidiously seeped into their skin. The workers' tragedy. If the tragedy had been limited only to the wealthy women at the balls, perhaps history would remember this as a fashion accident. But the real victims were others. The 19-year-old factory girls like Matilda Scheele, who prepared those green artificial flowers and ornaments. They were breathing in arsenic dust every single day. Their fingernails turned green, their hair fell out, and eventually they died in agonizing pain, vomiting green fluid from their lungs. When doctors performed autopsies, they couldn't believe their eyes. Matilda's liver, her brain, even the whites of her eyes were bright green. The Napoleon connection. This poison was so common that it is said to have brought even one of history's greatest emperors to his knees, Napoleon Bonaparte. The walls of the damp room where he stayed in exile were covered in his favorite color, emerald green. As the humidity increased, the arsenic in the wallpaper evaporated and mixed into the air. It wasn't the battlefields that killed the great commander, but perhaps just the beautiful wallpaper in his room, slowly poisoning him. Conclusion. The people of the Victorian era misunderstood the saying, "One must suffer to be beautiful." In the name of following fashion, they poisoned themselves and their children. This madness continued until newspapers ran headlines screaming, "These dresses are killers." Today, those dresses are kept in museums, behind special glass cases. It is forbidden even to touch them, because even though 150 years have passed, they still retain their lethal power. And what about us? Will people 100 years from now look back at our current sense of fashion and ask, how could they have poisoned themselves so blindly?